Hello, and welcome back everyone to Napoleon Total War as the British, of course. I do apologise for the break. As a note to begin with, I have had a seasonal cold, which is rather intense and burnt out quick enough, but still rather painful to record whilst I had it. But all better now, and we're back to normal. So we've recently beaten back a major army from Mecklenburg. We actually have the crossed swords over here to mark a ferocious battle. The Battle of Denmark in 1806 against, of course, Mecklenburg over here. So they're reduced now to a few armies over here. We did actually ask for peace and we managed to secure that after that battle. So we won't be expanding to the south over here for now. So that leaves us at war as usual with the Batavian Republic, the Kingdom of Denmark and Norway, which we did of course go to war with ourselves, and the French Empire as ever there. Did we get a trade agreement with Mecklenburg? No, we're not able to because we don't have any port export capacity to do that. Not a problem there. We do still need to repair our gained port over here in Denmark. But that's going to take just a little bit too much money. In fact, just another 100 or so than what we actually have, which is rather unlucky there. So there's not much I really want to do on this side of the turn. We're just going to remind ourselves of what our position is like at the Spanish-French border over here. So we're going to move a spy over here. Looks like there's not much in to lose, which is excellent. We are just replenishing over here for one more turn, and then we're going to move straight into Bordeaux and acquire the supply post there for a nice, forward base into the south of France there. How are we doing with Arthur Wellesley? Do need a couple more turns of replenishment here. We were hoping to replenish a little quicker in the Madrid region, which we are just about inside. But that's not quite going to be the case, unfortunately. So that's not to worry too much there. There's nothing really contending us in this space at the moment. So, with that being said, I think that's about it. We can just move straight on over to the next turn, I think. Double check how our happiness is looking actually in Denmark and Copenhagen at the moment. Yeah, of course, it's absolutely terrible. We do still need to garrison that. And we will want to garrison that with some militia. Did we start making militia in London? No, we didn't. So that's absolutely fine. That was a plan in my mind to start with, but I think we could just recruit it straight from Denmark and free up this army over here. So we'll actually be spending some money this term. Spending a fair bit. In fact, all of it, but not to worry there. That can just stay in garrison in Copenhagen quite nicely there. So at the end of the next turn now, we do have a new spy in England. Does he start with any traits? He does. So it's just generally good at subterfuge, and it has help for religious unrest. That actually would be quite a fair passive to have in Madrid, I believe, because we're 100% Catholic, and of course, as the British, we are Protestant. But it's not causing the worst unrest at the moment. We have, of course, unlocked the steam engine as well, which is brilliant. We have our recruited fencibles, and construction-wise, we have a great arsenal in London and a secret society in Catalonia, which is very, very nice indeed, to help us recruit some spies, and of course help out our happiness, and gives us a few spicy units to recruit in Barcelona as well, which is excellent for us. Let's lay an ambush on this road over here with Wellesley, I think. Okay, so before we actually press the finish deployment button, have rather an interesting lay of the land on this particular map. We are going to rush our cannons over this particular ridgeline over here. Maybe if we're very, very cheeky over here, but I think this ridgeline will do just fine to start with. We'll see how our range goes there, because we want to push forwards with our grenadiers, our Swiss grenadiers, over to this tree line over here. Perhaps we can get some good cover. We won't get both regiments hidden, because we want to stretch out our lines to maximise firepower. That will screen our cannons, and we won't be able to stretch quite along here very easily at all, because the mounds and such over here, as you can see, that's going to hinder our movement over there. So what we're going to do is curl round with a massive flank on our left side into the woodland over here and try and negate that, circumvent it, And of course the Swiss grenadiers will hold up very nicely in the centre there, and we will come around with our cavalry and some supporting standard infantry over on the right hand side over here. There's less woodland, or at least it's a little more open over here, which won't hinder our cavalry quite so much. Okay, so our cannons are set up and our infantry are just about into position. We're firing on the central line of French mariners over here. They are foot guards classified as, so they're going to be very high morale, very high accuracy. So quite the priority to thin down and whistle down with our cannon fire. We are going to take up this tree line, as you can see here. We're pretty much there. We will double time the last stretch there. So we have our Black Brunswickers, some Swiss line and some standard line there, who do need some experience. We're fairly low on the chevrons across the board, I would say. We are just about firing over our own central line there, which is excellent. Forming a massive flank onto the enemy's rear over here. What do we have over here? Chasseur Cheval. We can probably just catch those off, actually. That is the enemy's act in general there. It sounds like they want to try and charge something, though. I think we rush in with all of our cavalry. We'll certainly catch them there. We halt just here, actually. If we just pull back a tad, just delay that while we get a volley off, distract the enemy's volley, which does mean that our charge comes in unimpeded without that volley fire coming in to hurt us. And that is excellent. The volley supported over here as well. That'll be the enemy's act in general. Done and dusted fairly early on in this particular battle. We'll take off fire at will at the moment so that the enemy, or so that we don't get any friendly fire. Looks like we are getting a massive volley out onto the oncoming French garrison over here, removing 60 of their men already, and that is absolutely brilliant. Their morale has not shattered though already, which is excellent for them, of course. We do take the encourage from superior local force and excellence tree cover over here, which is very good. Can barely find our own men ourselves, actually. We should probably push in on the centre then and just secure this tree and wood line over here to negate any cover from the enemy. Push down this hill. Double time that. And what we can do is redirect our cannon fire down this central line here. And we're absolutely holding strong onto this hill. I'm probably getting a few glancing shots, some massive cannon shots going straight down this armed citizenry here, but they're not afraid. They are going to face the cannon fire and run straight back at us, which is great. So we are going to just make sure we're firing with everything over here, because it looks like we have one idle unit. Double time that. We do have a couple idle units we can. I don't know, we're not firing, not entirely sure why. We are firing, excellent. We do have sight over there. Hard to believe, I know. Looks like we're not quite firing onto this unit, perhaps. It is only armed citizenry, so some cannon fire will do the job. We will rearrange over here, though. Just plug that gap. How do we do it with the enemy's general? We've forgotten about that. Looks like chase them off, and that is in fact them leaving the enemy's cannon fire open. And we can do a massive, massive flank with our light cavalry over there. Flank the enemy's cannons, remove them as such a powerful asset, move up through the tree line. Actually use the road over here, which is very, very nicely implemented there for us. Wish that did have a more solid mechanical advantage for us to increase movement speed perhaps. And we do actually see this unit rousing off for now. So we are going to pull back a tad. We are taking some loss, we're taking a loss, okay, more accurate to say that, excellent. We will pull back though, bring the enemy into our firing line once again there. In fact, just double check our cannons are firing onto this massive, massive blob of French infantrymen there. We are getting a little bit outpositioned here, so need to make sure our cavalry are doing the correct things. Move one unit onto the cannons and reposition with just the rest over here. Make sure we're selecting that properly. Looks like we've got one or two people confused over here. Accidentally selecting all three regiments, but a massive cavalry charge coming into the flank of the enemy cannons. And that will give our troops some sort of relief there, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Yeah. No idea what's hitting them until too late there. See massive volleys coming down from the hill onto the enemy central line. Massive routes happening here onto armed citizenry and French garrison there. And don't let the word garrison fool you. They are very well trained French infantry. All French infantry, of course, other than armed citizenry. It's very elite compared to the rest of the European powers. But we are whittling down the French guards over here, who are, of course, the elite of the elite. We will push around with the Swiss grenadiers, though, because they're not actually firing us anyone. We will have to watch out for our Black Brunswickers and that, so the ammo is fairly low already, which means I have been pulling some harder weights there. Got a square over here for some strange reason, but not to worry. We'll pull round to the flank. I think we get a massive charge into the militia over here. That should force a rout as we push in over here with our infantry. Double time that to bring up. Come with the rest of the cavalry into the armed citizenry to force those off more permanently, I think. Yeah, already getting a morale shock over here, and as they reload, we'll be charging into their flanks very directly. They're flying through the air as we make contact. Absolutely brilliant. And that's just in time. We will bring in our general over here to support for a morale bonus there. We are surrounding over here, so let's move forwards a little harder. Do it with all 4 of these units. We might want to pull round actually. Yeah, okay, looks like we are going to force those off, so we'll pull back, get a full rear charge in once again, cycle through them. Stuck into the armed citizenry, they're not as fearful as we might have thought. They are routing now, so we will leave them. Massive rout in the centre here. That is some more garrison, and the guards have routed. That is absolutely brilliant. Glorious victory will indeed be ours very soon, meaning Bordeaux and Aquitaine shall be ours indeed. Just the conscripts here with the full weight of numbers, a 500-man regiment. Very nasty stuff indeed. It's a lot to chew through. We will finish our encirclement over here. Bring our light cavalry to the flanks. Make sure we do completely rout off enemy units. How we're doing over here. It is a somewhat uphill push over here with our foot. A good look at that fire by rank that we are getting the morale shots we need onto the French garrison. Enemy are very tired, but so are we. Calling out some orders there as a sergeant. We are firing downhill over here, which is absolutely brilliant tree cover. Very proud of this positioning, if I may say so myself. It's always so rewarding to see that you can use the terrain to your advantage in such a way and actually see the results very clearly. The enemy is going to find themselves facing the wrong end of our very thin line over here. Taking a lot of damage has this unit of foot infantry. But not quite enough, and because once again we will reiterate the points that taking Bordeaux does have that supply post. So with the arrival of field ambulance later on, should be the next turn, we will get some excellent replenishments coming out of that region. It looks like the foot guards have come back, and as we say that, they will finally completely shatter. Let's follow through them with another charge. Lost a fair few men in these cavalry regiments. Where's this one ended up? Really has fallen through, but it's armed citizenry. It's routing, but still not completely shattered. Unsung heroes of the defence there, but we're only trotting to walk them off of the map apparently. And of course a heroic victory with that. So we lost 570 men. Certainly not a problem, and we'll see exactly the fruits of that victory as we peacefully occupy and see the new trait aggressive attack and more command when attacking, which is excellent. So we didn't damage assessment, which is brilliant. It means we can save a little bit of money, but there is only basic road infrastructure over here, so we can upgrade that over 6 turns. You can see we have very good medium replenishment over here. Say medium, usually if it's a top tier replenishment, you will see green rather than sort of orangey plus replenishment signs over here. So we can upgrade the mail posts over here for 1.8 thousand. Once again, 6 turns, absolutely not a problem there. We do get some excellent vineyards over here, which is brilliant to see. That helps with public order, and 8 wealth per turn is amazing from them. So that's going to more securely tighten our grip onto the French-Spanish border over here. So we will just very sneakily move into an ambushing position on the top of this hill that does push us into the Bordeaux region, increasing our replenishment for Wellesley there as well. That should take about 2 turns for everything to replen there. So what are the plans moving forward? Let's take our better standing armies so far. In fact, I think these will be done basically in the same amount of time. So who needs more experience? I think Alexander Abercrombie needs more experience, and he can be the person in charge of taking Norway. So just double check our movements. Come over here. Move over to the port, I think. Are we able to garrison effectively here? We certainly are. That's excellent. So we'll garrison there. Keep hold of the bridge, although we are at peace so far with Sweden. Might be an idea just to gobble this up, just so that we do have that extra territory. What does Sweden itself have? Some mines, very nice indeed. Logging camp, not too bad. And of course another port is excellent. This school is actually part of the Swedish territory as well. So I might want to think about gobbling that up later. Get very greedy, greedy guts indeed. But you know what? Can't complain, you know? Cannot complain. We still don't have enough money to replenish the port over here. Let's do a bit of scouting. Possibly the Danish Navy. Right up here. So there is still just over a stack of units over here. Some standard line infantry and some militia. There's some militia in the outside army there, not a problem. Just do a little bit more scouting just to make sure we are going to be safe to transfer over. We do seem fine. We will of course let ourselves recover over the next turn or so, and then we can land on to Norway and take that. Finally, we have that renowned technology, field ambulances. As a very nice reminder, that does improve our replenishment by 4% in all regions. Probably my favourite technology, if you hadn't figured that out yet. I keep banging on about it. So do we go for another economic bonus here with reduced recruitment costs globally, or increase wealth from mines? Possibly. Could abolish slavery. For minus 2% recruitment cost. Read into that how you will, but as a game mechanic, not the greatest boon there. We could get the metric system to increase our technological research rates, very, very tempting indeed, or we could go for trade unions to unlock the Court of Appeals chain and reduce the wealth from mines and industrial buildings as a malus there. That's very interesting indeed. We're going to do that to favour pure tax income if we do upgrade to the Court of Appeals. I think for now we will get the metric system in 4 turns. We are getting Grand Battery as well, which increases the accuracy of artillery, enables the ability barrage, and does unlock the ordnance board for experimental and 5-inch howitzers, which is brilliant there. So very nice indeed. I would like to change over to howitzers when possible. Our gentleman has one more point of research for military in Salamanca over here. Not too bad at all. Boatswain over here for more movement range for George Elphinstone. More subterfuge for Leonard McNally. We'll double check where he is in just a second. We do have a Court of Justice and Grand Opera House in London as well. So if we go and find Leonard McNally, he is actually, of course, conducting spying operations in Paris. So how's that looking? A lot of colonne d'attack. Very nasty indeed. Some Hibernia as well. That's not something I like to think about at the moment. So let's try and sabotage their court over here. And that has been successful. Very nice indeed. That will hamper their tax income. We do still need one more turn for this to pop on over. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine indeed. You can see the massive difference having field ambulances has already made. Absolutely brilliant work. What we can do is pop on over. Just a quick cheeky visit to Toulouse over here. And actually, oh, you know what? I thought we could have demanded surrender. It looked like they only had standard armed system with a standard garrison there. No recruited units, which is usually the case when it's all grey on the tabs over here, which looked to be the case. But apparently not. We are going to have to fight this manually.
Our general is under attack.
And there we go, very nice, easy victory there. And another trait as well as another region. Very nice indeed. +2 command when besieging for Arthur Wellesley. Excellent stuff there. So we don't need to repair that city once again, but we do need to upgrade to cobble roads. Very silly of the French to misuse those rather heinously, if you ask me. AI doesn't know how to play, as it made obvious, but that does mean we are going to be encroaching onto the Paris region very soon. However, we're very, very close to Marseille, and Marseille is always a very massive money maker. So we've also actually gained a merchant house just on the edge of the border there, and another mine. So there's a little more to Toulouse than first meets the eye there, which is excellent. We'll run ourselves down to 17 gold in the bank after upgrading that and some mines, but not a problem there. I think the next target is, of course, Marseille. We'll think about Torino Piedmont over here. See what Austria has planned for that, actually. Well, this is actually quite an interesting development from Austria over here. They want us to break our trade agreement with the Ottoman Empire and grant them the technology of field ambulances, that much coveted technology. But in advance, they offer quite the hefty 1,000 payment, Grander battery, and fire and advance. It's very, very tempting. It's very, very tempting indeed. I'm not entirely sure what trade we're getting off of the Ottoman Empire, but I'm sure we can get it back. Let's accept that. We actually have a new gentleman as well in Spain. Let's see if we can actually put him inside the university. No, we can't. Someone proposed that it might be because we do have a French gentleman here. Never had that be the case before. Do you know what? We'll take a few turns for it to happen. But what is the assassinate chance over here? 60% assassinate chance. Think about it. Let's just move a little closer so we can see what we're doing. New gentleman. Let's see if he's got any traits behind him. More for civil technologies, a little bit of religious unrest aid. Dual 50%. We lost. We didn't die, so not a problem. We have a full tier 3 maximum tier banking house in England, and that is absolutely amazing. 200 flat wealth to the region, 24 per turn in this region, and +2 per turn to every region we own, which is amazing. So our economy stands at 7.2 thousand. Would have taken a minor hit from, of course, losing the trade with the Ottoman Empire, but we started this episode with around 6,500 income. So that's a massive boon there. And in fact, as we can see, Austria is making gains in the Balkans, down in Wallachia and Bucharest. Looks like they've got their eyes on Istanbul, and of course Athens down here. So diminishing returns coming from that Ottoman trade agreement. So we've not really lost out there. We've only enhanced our trade with Austria after they've taken Wallachia over there, which is brilliant for us. Can we actually sign any new trade agreements? No, we can't, because we don't have enough port export capacity, and I'm sure other nations don't have the import capacity. So we're now ready to embark over here with Alexander Abercrombie, and we are going to go straight on over. Well, just go over here. Looks like they've got metalled roads going actually, which is excellent. And we'll give us some space from Norway over here. Yeah, that's metalled roads. That's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So Norway, quite the offset financial hub there. I mean, if we want to guess a little finicky about it, we could say it's offshore. So we're going to have a look. We do actually have a spy over here who has increased subterfuge, which we've not used. Just where did Nelson go? We can send him over to France immediately. And while we're at it, we can use the opportunity to raid Le Havre over here, get the agents disembarked, and we'll see what mayhem we can cause with him in the future. The enemy is still repairing their magistrates building. It's very interesting. That'll take 2 turns. We sabotage their theatre, which is going to be successful once again. We nearly destroyed this outright, actually. Very, very good there indeed. It's not going to make much difference, though, to the happiness of Paris there. They do have that full stack garrisoning. It's going to be a hard nut to crack that. So I think the game here, going forwards, and the plan is gobble up everything outside of Paris first, and then close in like hounds. So that's it's Mikhail Kutuzov over here, somewhat battered, facing a Grouchy apparently. Alright, see. Where's everyone else is the question. Alrighty. So how are we looking over here with our replenishment? Could be better, but what we want to really take note of is our happiness and unrest is neutral at the moment, and that will get better each turn. We're going to... Are we going to at the moment? Yeah, we're going to upgrade the Course of Justice over here. Some good 2.1 thousand income from Toulouse, which is excellent. Let's have a look at that. Income, 43% tax rate. That's very nice indeed. So it should only take 1 or 2 turns to get fully replenished. So we're going to garrison the market house in Montpellier. That will give us I'm not quite sight over Marseille, but I think we'll finish the video by taking Marseille, which is going to be soft guarded by just under a half stack over here, which we should be able to take on fairly comfortably there. Well, I think actually what we'll do is we'll end the video after this particular battle. Looks like Norway did in fact have a 3rd stack waiting in the massive tree line we can see towards the mountain area, so we won't have had sight on that. Some chevroned militia. It's all militia. So that's rather interesting. This is going to be a grind. I'd like to, of course, take this on decisively, crush it in one battle, so that we don't have to chase this down later on. This will mean that we won't be conquering Norway in one battle. We will have to come back after some replenishment. So as we unload our cannons in this little copse on the left flank of our map here, we're having a bit of a struggle there by the looks of things. We're going to position ourselves rather heavily on one massive left flank here as ever. Try and take the tree line, of course, use the cannons to bring the enemy in to a bit of an ambush here. So move up more securely into that tree line. And that's about the extent of our own left flank over there. What are we firing us over here? Huge group of militia over here. So quite an open, wide map with a lot of trees in the middle here. And trees, of course, the bane of my positioning over here. We're going to try and take the hill over here with some skirmishers and some standard foot. Looks like the enemy might beat us to it, though. We do have the backup of some light cavalry over here. Of course, light cavalry will work wonders against militia who cannot form squares at all. We're going to try and take this main wood line with a huge amount of line infantry and our elite Royal Marines, as well as some light foot over here. Looks like we've got some good morale damage to the militia over here so far. That's nothing if we can't keep the pressure on there. We do have, of course, some light and heavy cavalry on our left flank to help secure that around as well. Well, once again, the enemy doesn't exactly want to comply with our plans. We're going to rush straight onto this hill over here. Our left flank is going to have to snake around and curl onto the enemy's direct flank. But it looks like we've reached the hill just in time, matching the enemy with our firepower. So we're going to just run our general over for some morale support. Of course, we are firing down the hill. We've lost the sound effects for some reason once again. It's interesting. Not pressed anything. Getting some good hits out though onto the enemy militia, and that will strip them down very, very quickly, make them rouse off hopefully fairly soon with the high accuracy of our light infantry there. We will back ourselves up. We'll double time this now for the last stretch. We do of course have our cavalry to chase down, so we'll bring that into a closer position there. Yeah, it looks like we've forced them to decide a little bit better on what they want to do. Rethink their plans there. They'll charge straight down the hill. That might give us a volley into their flanks there. And I think what we do is we just more decidedly take this hill. No, we don't need to, because we're still firing onto the oncoming militia here. Rather chevroned up they are, so they will have some fair accuracy, but still being militia, their baseline morale is fairly low. And you can spend as much as you want on chevroning these up. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference in their real staying power. And look at that, firing from above there all the way down. Excellent accuracy on that as the enemy still tries to reposition there. Love to see it. And they are probably going to reposition down to a firing line, taking extra shots that they don't need to there. But if we can just come to the ridge line just a little bit further down, we do have some sound effects now. It's rather interesting we don't have it on our infantryman over here. Is it coming back? It's coming back. Excellent stuff. Alrighty. But look at the numbers just dwindling so heavily there. You can see from the map that not a lot's going on our left flank. They're just taking cannon fire. We are very badly positioned with our general there. Let's sort that one out. Let's sort that one out, please. Just directly away, please. Very poorly positioned in the centre here as well. So let's sort that out. Face the enemy. And that's because the enemy isn't, again, it's just not complying with our plan. Can't blame them, to be honest. That does mean we're going to get some friendly fire as we fire with our cannons, unfortunately. If we can go for that line there. And they're going through here. Okay, so we're going to reposition our cannons. If we can reposition them towards here and get some good shots out onto the enemy there. How's our general? Is he safe? He is. Okay, so if we just push over here, we should be able to fire over our light infantry. And I think what we do is we pull back with our light over here and push forward with our line there. Like so. Double time that, please. Are we quite in range? We might be in range to hit this unit of militia over here. Looks like we're positioning for that. Yeah, we certainly are. We'll see about the friendly fire here, shall we? Yeah, we're taking a bit. We're taking a bit. Okay. We're taking a bit. It's absolutely fine. If we just stop here. Not a problem. We are getting a little bit surrounded. But we are going to get the support over here. If we just double time a little more solidly into the tree cover. Bring one unit of cavalry this area. One unit over here. You don't get this in newer Total Wars. You do not get the more minor skirmishes in your larger battles. And we will return our fire at will. We'll let the enemy just move into our firing range there. We're going to get some skimming fire though onto the ones we are in range with. Excellent there. Corner the enemy with this unit. And while that's happening, we're going to flip back over here And we're going to try and position a little better, chase down the enemy, because that is repositioning the whole army there to try and deal with us on that flank. Let's just reorder a tad. Guess on over here, I think. Let's bring all of these actually over here. Lovely stuff. How are we doing? Charge in here. And cavalry charge in here, because we're not doing very well actually on this particular engagement. The militia is using its massive force of numbers. That's something you can't forget about.
Sir, our general is under attack.
Do need to account for the weight of numbers. We're going to charge downhill straight into the enemy's line, of course. It will hamper them, and that will make them think about routing off, which is excellent. So we're going to retake this hill, far into this militia unit, bring through our cavalry. Once that's done with this unit, of course, we are winning decisively in that particular little engagement. Reposition a tad to more securely take the hill line, push out over here, use our extended range of our light infantry to sit behind now and just provide some more precision fire. General's looking a tad open, but deceptively protected by the massive clump over here. Make sure our cavalry keeps up. And what we can do is take this tree line, force an engagement in the centre, pin the enemy down, and then just slowly close in. Take off fire at will for now so we don't hit our cavalry in the back. And actually carry on with the original plan of bringing our cavalry through like so. Excellent. So we've managed to keep hold of this particular part of the map. Took a few losses, nothing too substantial. Cersei take it back. This will remove the Kingdom of Denmark-Norway from the game. I don't know what's going on with that order. Let's just reform fully before that charge then. It looks like we don't need it though. The enemy is having to tackle some rear fire while we're charging with the cavalry there. That's absolutely brilliant. Hopefully we can get them to completely shatter. Make sure fire at will was put back on over here. I forget which unit that was. Looks like we've all done there. So that's that right flank secure, finally. But we've made the mistake of forgetting about this area. We're going to have to reposition before we get a melee engagement going. Bring back our general over here, I think. Double time all of this then. Come straight on in with these units. Come onto the flank, please. We certainly need you now. As quickly as possible would be nice. And we'll just take these a little more succinctly there. So like that. Okay, so how are we looking over here? Gonna have to brace for a charge here. We should be winning this either way. Right, we're a little bit surrounded there, so we're gonna have to not rest on our laurels. Come on over here, make sure our general approaches a little more intelligently. Losing the cavalry over there because we're forgetting about that once again. Now, have we pinned down? I thought the enemy general might be here, but he's certainly not. What we can do is probably take advantage of this massive melee. Enemy won't be firing on us, and we will snipe the enemy general. Just make sure this unit of militia does go down completely. And we will force our men to double time, unfortunately. They're going to be very tired when they make the engagement. They're already probably exhausted. But so we do need them there extremely quickly. And this is just down to some, once again, some mismanagement. Just focusing far too much tunnel visioning on one area of the map. How are we looking? Winning this, winded. Winning this, or slightly losing actually. What's going on? Are we actually in the melee over here? Put a guard mode on, fire at will. See what happens with this. Yeah, we will completely engage in that melee. Not to worry, we are winning slightly over here. I don't think that's going to continue. So what we'll do is we get right on the backs of the enemy here, so that our accuracy is very good indeed. And we are sniping that enemy general. It's down to 31 men now. We have got everyone we wanted over here. So what we will do is push in a little harder over here. Just deciding. If we move like this. We have actually killed the general. Excellent. Okay, so move like this. Protect our flanks like so. And what we can do is move in like this. And we can move back out because we will lose that engagement eventually. Have removed the enemy general completely. It's moving over here to make sure the enemy does fully rouse off. You can see that massive volley coming in here did do him, well, absolute wonders. That's completely shattered these units over here. And we can get back to firing in their backs. And now that they are the ones very quickly between a rock and a hard place, as we have cavalry on one side and massive volleys firing onto their flanks over here. We will have to chase them down though, so we incur more permanent heavy losses. And it's over pretty much as quickly as it started. Just a few enemy units remaining now. That's what happens when you do have your corps made up completely of militia. We did take some losses, but it's nothing that some trained infantry can't hold on to. And we will be winning this particular battle. The enemy has regrouped over here. That is on our flank, but we do have a victory there. We will continue just to chase people down with some cavalry to incur more losses. We did lose a fair amount of men, and you can see that we did in fact get a good amount of friendly fire. We lost 837 in total, but the enemy only killed 731 of those. So the enemy does still have 2.2 thousand men remaining out of the 7.5 men they deployed. So monstrous losses there, but that does mean they escape. Look at that. We have another battle to fight immediately. It is once again largely militia, but this time they have some 6-pounder artillery and some light dragoons to deal with. But this is going to be a job for next time, guys. We don't have the time, unfortunately, to fight this right now. So I shall have to see you next week on that massive bombshell. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the future. May all of your nights and days be auspicious. Goodbye.